All right, we're back with another Celtics NBA draft scouting report. Taking a look today at UConn wing Liam Neely. Liam Neely is projected to go a little bit higher in the Celtics range in most mock drafts. However, lately he's been falling a bit, and the Celtics have been able to snag him at 28 or maybe a trade up option. At the very least, it's worth taking a look at for the purpose of this exercise. Kevin
Even our
O'Connor.
good friend Tyler Rucker today on his big board, 28, Liam McNeely.
Ooh, well, there you go. Kevin O'Connor's much higher on him. Has an at round one pick 11 in his mock draft. 6'7", 19-year-old. Didn't shoot the ball very well at UConn this year, 31.7%, but historically been a very good shooter, 86.6% from the free throw line. Compared him to Keegan Murray and Corey Kispert did Kevin O'Connor. In No Ceilings, giant draft guide, they have McNeely. I got to find him. Is he a wing? What did they classify him as? Maybe a guard.
Forward.
Forward. Oh my gosh.
I had to look yesterday. That's how I know.
6'7". Okay. 6'7" forward, apparently. I think he's more of a wing. But McNeely, out of UConn, played with Cooper Flagg in high school, played with Derek Queen, I think, as well in high school. 6'8" listed here, 6'8" wingspan as well. Floor spacing, threat awareness, an absolute dog, according to them. Shades of Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Julian Champagny. So not a bad list of comparisons there. Pros, shooting, connective passing, and toughness. Cons, self-creation, finishing, and defense. The lateral movement being the primary concern there. But we'll take a look today and give our thoughts.
Yeah, I wrote about Liam McNeely the other day for Hardwood Houdini, and the consensus on him with the shooting in particular, because we'll watch the highlights. You're going to see a lot of shooting. It's a lot of moving well without the basketball. It's a good thing to have. But the reasoning by draft experts to why he only shot 31% or 32%, if you want to round up, as a guy who is billed as a shooter, was because UConn kind of asked him to do a little bit more because their backcourt didn't work out as well as they would have hoped. They kind of underachieved as a team all season. And so he was left with more difficult shots and more created shots than he probably would have liked. But the catch and shoot numbers are still pretty good. He shot like 38% on the catch and shoot threes. So that's a little bit more of a positive thing to feel about him, keeping it in your back pocket. But McNeely's form is pretty good. Like, pretty smooth. Looks like almost a Sam Hauser shot with the way his base is pretty wide, smooth rise, good release. I don't know if you have the highlights up or not, but it still shows a draft guide in the room.
No, I didn't pull up the highlights yet. I'll pull them up right now. Then we can take a look. Liam McNeely at UConn.
My bad.
14.5 points, 6 rebounds. No, you're good. Swish. I like Swish. Swish and No Ceilings are my go-to highlight packages. Swish gives a nice balance of like a little bit of everything, game by game type of stuff. And No Ceilings breaks it down, scoring, playmaking, and defense. So that's useful if you're looking for specific things. But you get a look at the 3-point shot there. I'll rewind once so we can check out the form. Just smooth 3-point shot. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're looking at how he could be. Good drive too.
Also a good free throw shooter. He's at like 86% or something pretty crazy. So if you're one of the believers that translates into NBA shooting ability, that's a good thing for you. Here's what I will say about McNeely from what I remember watching in the highlight tape is a lot of the finishes that were included in the compilation were just circus shots. Not these. These are more like regular drives, but there were some that were like good driving ability. It was him like going in backwards and throwing it up over his head and it going in. I was like, well, I don't know if that's going to work for him at the NBA level. It's tough to look at a white guy running around wearing number 30 and not think Sam Hauser, especially after watching the Celtics. But seriously, I think the jump shot is really similar looking. It's just like the load is so similar. The release is similar. It looks smooth. You can see the vision for him being someone who is an off-ball threat. And to be honest with you, with the Celtics, that is, outside of the positional needs that are probably going to arise this summer, something that you can always feel good about drafting because in your system it's going to have a use. You could always use more Hauser-type guys. Why would you not want them? And he has a great feel for his off-ball movement. He does a good job coming off screens. When he catches the ball off the screens, he's ready to set, load, shoot, and it's smooth. It's not awkward. He's comfortable.
He reminds me more of Baylor Shireman, the Sam Hauser. And they're very obviously similar players, all of them. But like his comfortability putting the ball on the floor, his willingness and ability to finish at the rim, his like just overall the way he like moves so fluidly. Not that Sam Hauser's not like okay putting the ball on the floor, but just the fluidity with which Shireman moves is more similar to McNeely than Hauser's fluidity, in my opinion. I think Shireman's a little bit of a better ball handler. I think McNeely's probably a little bit of a better catch and shoot guy than Shireman. I think Shireman's probably a little more comfortable off the pull up or after having the ball in his hands, and McNeely might be a better catch and shoot guy if you can continue to work with him at it. Obviously had a rough season at UConn. There's also an argument to be made, like how good of a shooter is he if he had that big of a struggle for a year? Like slumps are one thing, right? Sam Hauser and Kobe Brea, like look at those guys. And I'm not saying like that's the norm, but like those guys have never shot below like 40%. Like Sam Hauser's never shot below 40% from college. And that's obviously the exception, right? That's not normal. Kobe Brea has never shot below a certain amount. Like shooting 31% for a year is more than just, oh, like we know what he is and he had a bad year. That's like, what's going on here? Like why was he shooting that poorly? Like is there, and I'm not like going to try to like place something on him, but like, was he anxious? Like, is he not used to a new environment? Like, and that's not a bad thing, and you can work through it. But those are also factors to take into account. It's like, okay, diagnosing and figuring out what happened that led to that year. And I'm not saying that should stray the Celtics away from him. He's very clearly a good prospect, good finisher around the rim, good athlete for what it's worth, big body, clearly a comfortable shooter. It's just like figuring like why what happened.
Yeah, it is really tough to be like, this guy could really be a great shooter for the Celtics. And you're like, well, what did he shoot in college? 31%. Not the best. But, like, again, like the isolated like catch and shoot numbers are pretty decent. And when he's not being asked to create off the dribble, he might be a little bit more efficient. The free throw percentage can make you feel good about that.
Do you know what he shot off the catch
and shoot? I think it was almost 38%. Like, it was pretty close to the 40% mark that we would all look for. And, again, the free throw percentages were good, so the form is good. You know he has good mechanics. Like, maybe it was fluky that he shot that, but I think anybody that would dispute, hey, why, or bring up the point, why didn't he shoot well? As much as we can throw the other facts at you, 38% off the catch, 86% from the line, the fact remains he did not shoot well overall. And even his field goal percentage wasn't very high. I think that was also, if I'm not mistaken, in the 30s. So,
oh, really?
He's got... Yeah, I could be
I'll
wrong.
look right now. I have sports reference up, so I can look up really quick. But Liam McNeely, like this 38%. It's loading for me. Yeah, 38.1 from the field, 31.7 from three, average 14.5, 6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. Part of it is
the scouting stuff I read was like, it was more of like he was asked to play out of his comfort zone. Yeah. He's not the best creator with the ball. Like, he looks good in these pick and roll situations. Like, he actually does a great job of making the defense think that he's going to shoot the ball, and he's shown that he's a willing passer, where it's like that was one of the ones I was talking about. I was like, all right, are these the kind of finishes we're gonna think he's gonna do in the NBA? But like, he will make the pass up of a good shot for a great shot. He sets the big men up in the dunker spot really well on the drive. Like, he's always like looking to see what the right play is what I took from this. But yeah, like, I don't expect him to do stuff off the bounce as much as like a Shireman would. And he's also not as athletic. Like that's one of the billings on him too.
Yeah. I mean, there's almost a part of this that maybe this was good for him. Obviously, the shot wasn't there, but if he's getting more comfortable having the ball in his hands, that could be a positive. I think he's a good player. I think he was, if I'm not incorrect, I think he was one of the higher rated players going into college. Like him, Cooper Flagg, Derek Queen, and I think Asa Newell played on that Montverde team. Like, that was like a very stacked high school roster. Was a very highly touted collegiate prospect or high school prospect going into college. So I think there was a lot of hype around him. And listen, sometimes shit just happens, and you're, like you said, you're asked to play out of your comfort zone, and it's an awkward position to be in, and you're having to learn on the fly, and depending on the mindset and what your actual best role is going to be, that can get awkward, and maybe it just didn't work out for him. But he looks like a very solid all-around basketball player. I wish we could see a little bit more defense. I wonder if there's a no ceilings video. I'll look right now, but I like Liam McNeely. I think he's fine. I just, the 31% is so weird.
So this almost ties back into some of the chats we had on the Thursday podcast, where it's like, If you're sitting at 28 and you get Liam McNeely, nice. If you're trading up to get Liam McNeely, not as nice because you had to give
Yeah.
something up to go get him. Like, I think at 28 he'd be pretty cool. Like, there's potential there. He's only 19. Like, it's not the Shireman
Almost
type
like
thing where,
Shireman. Like, if you get Shireman at 30, great. If you have to trade up for Shireman, no. But, like,
yeah.
if you can get him at 30, you stay at 30. And that's what all the reports were. Like, they were going to trade back, but Shireman is there, so they took him. That's sort of like what would maybe happen with Lee McNeely.
Yep. And as of now, like, they haven't worked him out yet. He hasn't been in Boston. This draft is such a crapshoot in terms of the late lottery to outside lottery guys where they're actually going to be picked. Because, like you said, McNeely on the Kevin O'Connor mock draft is 11th to Portland. And then you have Tyler Rucker, who has him 28th on the big board. And the sleepers guys, once we get to them, also have like very mixed opinions on Liam McNeely. One guy has him 38th on the big board. He might be gone. It's interesting. He is an interesting watch. Can you imagine the McNeely jerseys going off the shelf?
Considering there is 30 seconds of an 8-minute video of defensive highlights, not great for Liam McNeely. But let's check out sleepers for what it's worth. So earlier today, since we're doing 2-a-day videos, you guys saw Cam Jones. Cam Jones was 23rd on sleepers big board. McNeely's 22nd. So that's a little bit of context for you as to where people see McNeely. Again, in college, 14.5, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He only spent 1 year in college as well, so he is coming into the league very young. Strengths, multi-positional playmaking, upside, no fear, shooting upside. Winner, all positives. The weaknesses, defense, inefficient at times, could be a tweener. I assume that just means, like, is he a forward? Is he a guard? Is he a wing? Like, where exactly is he going to play? Surprise, shooter, as the 2 words for Liam McNeely. Both think he'll reach his floor, which is not great. Best team fit is the Celtics and the Pacers, so adding another sort of connector type, I think, could be a positive. Adding those types of shooters, do all guys is always a good thing. 5 years bench and starter, okay. They both thought he'd reach his floor, though, so I guess maybe he just thinks he has a very high floor. I guess we have to contextualize
one of the comps is crazy. Just wait.
Most likely to play for 10-plus teams, have to work on his bark when OKC drafts him. Best case scenarios. Oh, my God. Okay, sure. Let's do it.
Really, I said Danny Granger.
Ooh, that's a good one. I said one I think you'll like based upon where you said his best fit was. I said Derek White.
Okay, go ahead and talk me through Derek White.
Derek White does a lot of things on the court. Derek White gets a lot of credit for doing a lot of things on the court he does not do. I think Derek White's a phenomenal shooter. Plays solid defense, nothing too crazy. He kind of can create.
Jack is upset.
This guy doesn't watch Derek White. I'm sorry. You're saying nothing too crazy about Derek White's defense is insane. Offensively, I'll give you Derek.
He made all defense.
Exactly. Offensively, I'll give you Derek White. I can see the connector. I can see if you believe in Liam McNeely as a shooter, the quick release, getting the ball up, coming off screens, stuff like that, sort of being a get downhill, driving kick, finish around the rim pretty well guy. Saying nothing too crazy defense is telling me you don't really pay attention to Derek White. That's fine, but like that's a crazy thing to say. Liam McNeely is nowhere near Derek White defensively. Derek White is one of the best athletes on the Celtics, like sneakily so. Like, phenomenal athlete. Offensively, you got me there, sure, but defensively,
he kind of
crazy. Let's listen to Danny Granger.
I think Derek White is because Derek White's
anything poorly.
The reason I don't like Derek White is because Derek White's an awesome defender, and Liam McNeely, I think, was a huge part of why UConn's defense on the perimeter was terrible. I mean, they were terrible as a perimeter defense all season long, and it was because Liam could never come off the floor. So there were other reasons too. I don't want to act like it was all on him, but like the fact that he was on the floor did not help the UConn perimeter defense get figured out. I said Danny Granger, and I'll stick with it. I think this is a really good one. Now, Danny Granger is way better than I think Liam McNeely will be. But if it works, if the best case scenario for Liam McNeely happens, to me, it would end up being a career arc that looks a lot like Danny Granger, where he's like kind of good for a couple of years, getting better. Then all of a sudden he has a breakout all-star season where he's one of the leading scorers in the league because he makes all his threes. And then you're like, oh my God, could he be an all-star for 8 more years? And no, it never happens again.
Okay. I like that. Let's listen to worst case. What's their worst case for Liam McNeely?
I went with Kyle Singler.
Oh, Ooh, mine might be a little too high.
Who do you got?
Now that I hear yours, I went Buddy Hield.
I'm sorry. I got to take a second here. Buddy Hield is one of the best 3-point shooters of the last 2 decades. And that's his worst case. And I get
Buddy Hield, by the way,
a very flawed player.
Yes.
He is one of the best 3-point shooters maybe ever.
Also, Buddy Hield, like, they are not comparing what it was like when these guys were getting drafted, but Buddy Hield was like a bucket in college and like was like the leading guy for Oklahoma. He was doing everything. He was creating shots. Like he was like a real guy that people wanted to pick instead of Jalen. Like that's how good he was. So like he's got more, I think, versatility than McNeely does.
As a senior at Oklahoma, Buddy Hield shot 8.7 threes a game and shot 45.7% from 3.
Insane.
I'm sorry. Derek White to Buddy Hield pipeline is crazy.
That means he's going to be good, though.
Does it? I don't think this. I don't. I think Danny Granger to Kyle Singler makes a little more sense. I think Buddy Hield is like a mid tier, like not ceiling or floor, like a window is fine. I don't know. I was in the middle of a room between the ceiling and the floor instead of window. Like sure. I don't know. It's tough. What do you make of these comps? My head's spinning a little.
I think the guy on the left has more accurate comps. I don't know about the Granger one. I think Granger was like like he says, like he's a high level player. He was an all-star one season. Like he was a really strong contributor on some good Pacers teams. I think McNeely is just going to be more pigeonholed into like being a role player. Like that's what this feels like. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I didn't watch a lot of UConn this year.
Maybe he breaks. I mean, theoretically, like I suppose if he did have the chance to have the ball in his hands a lot at UConn, maybe like down the line, if he does shoot well enough, the team gives him a little more of those opportunities. Like I don't know, it would have to be a very niche fit. Like those Danny Granger Pacers teams. It's not like Danny Granger was like by far the best player. He just took the most shots, and I guess maybe you could see that for McNeely, but.
I mean, if he turns into Danny Granger at pick 28, that's not bad.
No, certainly not.
I mean, even Kyle Singler at 28 isn't the worst pick.
Kyle Singler. Seriously,
though. Like, I mean,
no.
Thinking about, like, where you're drafting is not terrible. Like, these worst I mean, we can throw the Buddy Hield case out because I feel like that's, like, a high level. If you got that at 28, you'd be pretty happy, too. But there hasn't been, like, a guy that they put on the screen in this video that I'm like, who? Or he's wearing like a summer league jersey, like sometimes how they do this. So
sure.
Maybe.
All right. In that case, and again, we're doing this contextually of like, are we doing this at 28? Like if they got them at 28?
Yes.
I think I would go B tier.
I agree.
Okay.
At 28, Liam McNeely's really cool. If you have to trade up to like 20, less cool.
Yes. I still don't hate it, but like, I think this is a fine spot to put Liam McNeely. Walter Clayton's chilling in this tier too by himself. I was hoping we'd put him there to even it out, but I think B tier is fair.
Like the thing about McNeely is like the tools are there. Like even you said it as soon as we started the highlights. Like the jump shot mechanics look good. Like free throw percentage is good. Catch and shoot rate is good. His body is big enough where you can talk yourself into him being at least like somewhat versatile defender. He doesn't have defensive highlights. He's not athletic. He doesn't move quickly laterally. Like all of the scouting reports say that there's a lot to be desired defensively, but he's not as old as some of these other guys are either. So you can be like, well, he's got some time to develop. Like just think about like when Sam Hauser got to the Celtics, right? Sam Hauser was an undrafted free agent. He took 2 seasons before he became like a real rotation piece. And the thing that had to come along was his ability to be a savvy / serviceable defender. And if McNeely's drafted here, I could see like a very similar career arc for him.
And Hauser came into the league at like what, 24, 23? Like
yeah,
a lot
he was definitely a little older. Like he played a lot of college ball before. I mean,
he played 4 years of college ball, but there was the gap year for COVID. So he's technically played 5 years of college ball.
Yeah, I know the tape, the stats, like all of it isn't that impressive. And if he turns out to not be good, all of the evidence was like screaming at us in the face. But if he turns out to be good, you can be like, look, sometimes it's more than just
I think B tier.
What meets the eye?
I think B tier is fair for Liam McNeely. I think I'm happy with this.
Again,
let us know what
just
you guys
thinking
think.
about
But
McNeely jerseys, the Irish last name.
Southie would go crazy.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think of Liam McNeely. Let us know who else we should look at. I think we're going to try to do 2 a day. Or if we have a pod that day, we'll do one like after the pod maybe, or maybe we'll just keep it to video days. But let us know what you guys want. Let us know what you think of the tier list. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that same. Take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment. Let us know what you thought of Liam McNeely, and subscribe and hit the bell because we are here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday during the seasons. We do game recaps morning after each game, and other videos like these are up in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. Hit the bell because, as Jack so aptly said on the last podcast, he is living in fear that news is going to break at all times. And if it does break, we will be here. So
I went to pick up an Xbox with Danny from like a Facebook Marketplace thing because he was buying an Xbox so he could play with us. And I don't know where I put it. I put it on my desk somewhere. I brought my I didn't know you were selling one.
I have an extra.
Where is it? Oh, I bought this with me, like on like a 15-minute drive because I just
the
in
little
case.
baby mics. Yeah,
just in case. I'm ready.
Ready if needed. Okay. Well, be ready like Jack. Hit the bell. We are here on Spotify and Apple too. All pods, recaps, and breaking videos, or I guess pods, will be on there. So if you follow, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. There's still time. Let us know what prospects you're interested in leading up to next week's draft. We love hearing from you guys, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at JacksOneNBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.